In a different book, on a different page. You said you were different. For the water. Alright, welcome YouTube. I am streaming this from TikTok live. So please only take what resonates and leave the rest. If you do not know who I am a tarot and oracle reader and a wise counsel. Right now I'm going to be doing a reading. I haven't used Florida water in a while, so when I get this open, up. And I think I'm going to be pulling some oracles first. Okay, let me see. There we go. All right. Different channel songs have been coming on, but okay. Let me see. Oh, I gotta take this part off too. Thank you for double tapping the screen. Just trying to take you said you were different. All right. Welcome in. I'm about to get started on a collective. Anytime you are wanting to get your own personal reading, all you have to do is send in your payment to the link above. It has multiple payment options to choose from. Oh my gosh, I so forgot how that smelled. Just brings me back. Nostalgia. Experiencing things that bring about nostalgia. All right, we're gonna pull some tea leaves. Welcome in. About to get started on a collective. Please only take what resonates. To pick up more on your energy, make sure you double tap the screen. Just separating the houses and the months of the year from the regular tea leaves. All right, and we're done. Okay, so affairs with one's family is very significant. So I'm already picking up on love, honestly. This video will be uploaded to my YouTube in case you do not know already. So if you cannot stay for the full message, it will be uploaded to YouTube. Let's see. Hope everyone is doing amazing. All right, got the astral houses, months of the year. What message is there for the collective? What message is here for the collective? The boot came out, which is increasing your efforts to achieve your goals. Whatever goals you have in love and relationships, in life overall, okay? Increase your efforts to reach your goals. Maybe this could benefit other individuals. All right. The diamond, jewelry, crystals could be significant. Okay, it says you'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. Okay, what else? What else? Let's get the whole messages out here. We got two cards coming out together. The Fly, which is a period of ill health, depression, and then we have the older man coming out in the reverse. It says dealings or relationship with an older man. So maybe there will be a period of ill health, some type of depression coming from an older man, or this older man is going to be in this space of depression. It could be both. Any more messages here? Thank you for the follow. Welcome in. All right, we got the funnel, a period of frustration. Okay, lessons to be learned, and the boat is on the back. So I feel like there's going to be a period of frustration, of course, possibly only due to necessary lessons needed to be learned. Sometimes when we're in this space of frustration, etc., the answers literally be like right there in our face. This is why I feel like sometimes we give ourselves karma and we put ourselves through things, because sometimes things seem bigger than what it actually is. Okay, so maybe there's going to be some frustration here, but I feel like when the lesson is learned, this frustration will disappear. So just be gentle with yourselves, with others in these point in times. We just got out of a Mercury retrograde. Maybe around August 7th, the energy of the Mercury retrograde will die down a lot more. We're in the shadow period of the Mercury retrograde that has ended. Now the boat is on the back. It says money or property through inheritance, winning, or windfall. Okay, we're gonna sit this over here to the side. Let's get the rest of the spread out. Multiple situations and scenarios most definitely could be significant. Multiple people, relations, family could be significant. Your love life overall. Love life is just trying to loved ones, people, relationships. Some of y'all are going to be meeting someone new. This could be business. This could be platonic. This could be romantic. It can be anything. Caterpillars are significant. Any more messages here for the collective? The candle is coming out with the crown. You will be shown the way, okay? Honor and respect will come to you. So for those of you who are confused, don't see the answers fully or things clearly, you will be shown the way. And I feel like that's because of people realizing your value or your worth. So it's similar to like somebody having the key that you need to unlock something, and them seeing that they want to give this to you, they want to whatever. I don't know, I just feel like something is not going to be as hard or difficult. Okay, sorrow over a loss. You or someone else could be experiencing sorrow over a loss, but somebody will be shown the way. There will be a period of frustration and lessons to be learned, as well as possibly a period of ill health and depression. If that's not your energy, it's going to be tied to an older man. But if it is your energy, this depressional energy is going to come from an older man. Like maybe, see, everybody's situation is different, right? Speaking on individuals who have certain father wounds, maybe they've been abandoned by the father in their life. So of course this could be a sign of reflection, shadow work, whatever the case may be. Whereas other individuals, this could be talking about something slightly a bit different. But just take the messages how they resonate for you. Okay, turkey, Thanksgiving, the turkey is coming out. It says someone is behaving stupidly. So maybe you're connected with someone who is behaving stupidly, and somebody is going to lose somebody in this energy, because whoever, I feel like somebody who's showing up with the crown, right? This crown energy can tie to honor and respect will come to you, right? But other than that, I feel like somebody is already of royalty, or they have they're of high honor, valuable, they're a giver, they deserve things as well. So it's like whoever is behaving stupidly, there's going to be some type of I feel like somebody may walk away. But we'll get more messages on it. Any more messages in for the collective? We got the firecracker coming out and the cup. It says you should accept valid criticism. You, them, they, whoever this message is for. All right, we got the firecracker right here. Tying to excitement, passion, could be significant. 4th of July could have been very significant. New upcoming holidays, or holidays where they pop fireworks. Or somebody could be like a firecracker. We got the finger on the back of the deck. It says warning you of a problem either now or in the near future. Okay, so we're going to put this to the side. The last two cards is the carrot and the younger man. Okay, so a lot of you guys can have dealings or relationships with an older man and a younger man. Okay, now with the younger man, there could be some type of opportunity or windfall, right? Maybe this is going to be the individual who gives you a gift. And this gift could be in the form of like one's heart, matters of the heart. Sometimes it matters of the heart, or something is very like a precious gift. So the main thing that I'm seeing is just really life, right? The ups and the downs of life, the relationships, the struggle, whatever the case may be, but also small and not so small blessings, or streaks of abundance, right? Coming from people, coming from experiences, coming from self, whatever it may be. For those who need to learn how to accept, whether it's someone else, consider accepting valid criticism. We're not talking about, oh, you a piece of crap, you'll never be none in life, you dead. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about a situation whereas if you're possibly not behaving in the best manner, right? We're not here to tell you what to do and this, that, but if you feel even deep down, no, this low-key valid, whatever the case may be, you know, be open to accepting valid criticism. Maybe you're connected with individuals who should accept valid criticism. So when you look into other people, it can be a little bit more easier to navigate situations as such, right? Because you're dealing with people who don't know how to accept valid criticism. You're dealing with people who behave stupidly. And this may be frustrating if this is not your own energy, right? Some of you guys could literally be grieving someone who's still alive. But this is like, I know these things may seem so huge and everything like that. And of course it is. But this will pass. This will pass. Now, the months of the year that's significant. Let's see, what months of the year is significant? July. Remember we talked about July? The season of July and April. What season is that? Because that season could be very significant. The months of the year that's significant is what? All right, we got December on the back. I seen April, and we have May. So of course you're holding. Every part of your life is significant. All the months of the year can have some type of significance, whatever the case may be, right? In between May through December, for some reason, could be significant. No, April through December. Or April, December, July, and May. And the zodiac signs of these months can even be significant. Boats could be significant. Phalanges, fingers, whether somebody... It's just either somebody pointing at something, whether it's a middle finger pointing at something, or this is just a warning of a problem, okay, either now or in the near future. So I know a lot of you guys, you're dealing with a current issue. So if this is something that has yet to happen, it's just like a warning, right? Because a lot of times we can brace ourselves, or we can, you know, help something shift into a better... Yeah, then what it, you know, because we don't have free will, and of course things outside of your control is outside of your control, but there are other things that can be. And for those of you who are mystical beings with vivid imaginations and beliefs in certain things, then you most definitely can create your reality, shift it. Literally, the impossible is possible. Okay, now with the astral houses, what astral houses are significant for this spread, this collective? What astral houses are significant? Wealth. And then careers on the back. So even though one's like love, whatever, is significant, the main ones that popped out, wealth. And you know, a lot of people don't just look at wealth as finances or prosperity, but also positive abundance, whether that's emotional, financial, spiritual, whatever the case may be, one's energy. What astral house is significant? What astral house is significant? Energy number 7 could be significant. What astral house is significant? Success. The Tower and the Sun is on the back of the deck. The Tower ties to solid foundation, success with effort. And then the Sun here is tying to happiness and well-being. So when it comes to one's happiness and well-being, create a solid foundation to continue to promote this, to experience this. You will have success when you put in effort. If you walk around being a negative Nancy all the time, you don't give yourself enlightenment, shift your perspectives, whatever the case may be, you're not creating that solid foundation. Therefore, things will tumble down. Anything you experience will seem like it's a lot, will become extremely frustrating. You may become depressed, you know? So these are things that you can avoid. Even if there's people in the world who trigger you or behave stupidly, there's always a way around something, and not based on delusion. So looking at things from different perspectives, right? Sometimes we look at everyone as, oh, you're just a narcissist, you're trying to manipulate me. That's because we get taught these things and we start to believe them wholeheartedly. Whereas other people, they get taught, oh, well, people, you know, they just go through their mental anguish and, you know, this, and they're a person who, whatever the case may be, right? So people who view things in that manner, they have a softer way of viewing things, and it possibly hurts a lot less. Well, I'm not going to say it hurts a lot less, but when they have that understanding or that other way of viewing something, it helps like a lot more than somebody who looks at people as liabilities, right? So maybe a shifted perspective could go a long way. Accepting valid criticism and not allowing individuals who are not in the energy that you're in to get to you as much. Because, yeah, maybe things people do don't make sense to you, or maybe, you know, your dad or your boyfriend or your loved ones, your family members are getting under your skin, or, you know, but at the end of the day, this is only causing one frustration, depression, etc. It's not really doing anything for you, and I feel like this pushes you further and further away from building that solid foundation of happiness and well-being. If you plan on being in the world for another decade or 2 or 3 or 4, then I feel like you're gonna have to learn how to like master certain things. And I feel like y'all do have the potential, but we all have free will, and sometimes things are easier said than done. But when you get out of your own way and look at things like, okay, instead of me getting angry, I'm gonna look at this as this person may not be responding in the best way that they could have due to maybe whatever their experiences were. Am I going to internalize that, take it personal? Or am I going to validate how I feel, because my feelings are valid? Maybe this made me upset, maybe this made me sad, maybe it's draining, whatever the case may be. Because I don't know about you, but a period of ill health and frustration don't feel good. And I feel like a lot of you guys are already experiencing these things, but it doesn't have to continue to be your present or your future. Somebody is going to be wealthy, whether that's within their mindset, their mentality, whether that's within their emotional well-being and happiness, whether that's within their prosperity, their finances, their career. There's a solid there's a solid foundation here, or a solid foundation can happen, but with effort. Don't be kind, babe, but you know tonight. Somebody could be expecting some type of money, property, inheritance, some type of windfall. And this could be dealing a relationship with a younger man. This could be where it's coming from. Maybe this could be a teaching moment, a lesson. Ooh, that's very interesting. 11:11. Touch me, yeah. You already got me there. No matter how the journey has been, the bumps in the road, the confusion, the frustration, the depression, the awakenings, the lack of consciousness, at the end of the day, life is what you make of it. I feel like that is what this is. Either you learn from lessons, or you let them swallow you whole and become a whole different version of yourself that you did not have to become. Live in a certain reality that did not have to exist. So I feel like a lot of things could be a mind thing, and it could be an emotional well-being thing. I understand how easy it could be to become frustrated, depressed, especially when people behave stupidly, or you're experiencing sorrow over a loss, or you're learning how to accept things, or whatever the case may be. But be gentle with yourself. Sometimes things are new to you. You don't have to get it on the first try. Just practice makes perfect. When you train your mind, just like how you train your body and like everything else, you can train your mind. But there's an opportunity here. Windfall, excitement, precious gifts, honor and respect coming to somebody. Somebody being shown the way. Aside from all of this frustration, depression, dealings with certain men, or, problems now or in the future, things outside of your control, especially other individuals and their actions or emotions, sorrows over a loss. It may be a difficult, frustrating, depressional journey, but I feel like effort will bring about success in many areas of one's life. Wealth, health, relationships, and just life overall. We got doing something risky, taking a chance on the back of the deck. Maybe this is Well, this actually be talking about something else. The bell on the back announcement. Tell me more about this, this gift. This gift. Be receiving a gift. What is this? Strong emotion, passionate love, or hate. So usually when you see this card, it can tie to a strong emotion. It could be passionate love, or it could be a passionate hate, right? For those of you, maybe it could be both. For others of you, it's most definitely talking about love, a passionate love. But with our free will and different traumas and unresolved emotions, it can easily turn into hate. So that's what I'm saying. You know, the energy of hate, this is how we run ourselves to the grave even quicker. Depression kills, okay? Stress kills, okay? It even creates ill health. It's time to get excited again. Look at something as like a gift. You know, if you don't look at life as a gift or feel like this and that, then you'll probably just, it'll be more easy for you to operate in a certain space. Whereas the other individual who feels like, wow, I'm just blessed to be here, I'm happy to be alive, the energy will shift. So I feel like a lot of things is really going to have to be like somebody going to put in effort. If they want to receive some type of success, whether that's happiness, well-being, and I ain't talking about short term, talking about literally long term, maybe even permanence, right? I just feel like there are some lessons to be learned. When you realize that people outside of yourself are operating in a certain space due to their own maybe injustices that they've experienced, unresolved emotions, whatever the case may be, like any and everybody, even though most people, they still show up in a different manner. But that's the thing, since we already know that other things exist, either we're gonna fall victim to depression, frustration, or we're going to see the wider perspective. When I was, you know, I've come across different beliefs, right? I grew up religious, and then eventually I learned about numerology, astrology, tarot, eventually became spiritual, whatever the case may be. And it's like where I'm going now is a space that's more resonating with me. And you figure that out as you continue to unfold and navigate, deprogram or reprogram, whatever the case may be. So when I was experiencing a certain timeline, mentality, whatever, I was able to see maybe we are all just misunderstanding one another. Maybe this person, yeah, if we go based off narcissistic tendencies, that person could have those. But if we also go based off people having a rough life, people not having that you know, it's different ways of viewing. So if we already know, I just feel like you honestly should work smarter, not harder in your life, and find the lesson or the beauty in things, or the perspective, especially a new perspective. We're not gonna sacrifice our emotion, our well-being, our happiness. This is how you ride the wave of the currents of life. Either you're gonna get swept up in the current, or you're gonna maneuver, go with the flow, right? It's not delusion. It's not lowering your respect or whatever the case may be. So honestly, I guess it's about how you look at things. So if you look at things like, oh, this person is getting over on me, this person is this person, I feel like that'll help kind of push you a little bit more into a space that you'll have to try to get yourself out of. So when you already train yourself in different thoughts and different mindsets and different beliefs, whatever the case may be, it'll be a little bit more easier to navigate things, and it'll be easier to not become frustrated, you know, not become depressed, because you overstand something and you have a goal, which is success in any and all endeavors. For a lot of you guys, it's wealth. For a lot of you guys, it's happiness and well-being. For others of you, it's some type of, you know, some type of wealth, whether it's properties or whatever the case may be. But wherever you are, however it is, even if it's all of the above, you can be successful, but it's going to take effort. Well, like I told y'all before, whether it's time to love and relationships, this, that, it is going to take effort. Maybe this is something that's new to you. Maybe you've always, you know, you go down a path and you get told, welcome to the team. You get told this and that, and then that becomes your reality. That becomes your belief. So maybe for some of you guys, it seems like a risk when you try to venture towards your own inner guidance or whatever the case may be, because you were already taught when you came into this reality that there's this way of doing something, there's this way of doing something. You have influences, society, and everything else, right? Some of you guys can have a secret admirer. You could be waiting for some type of news, package, or letter. Okay, beware of greed. This energy did come out in the reverse. So for some of you guys, you already learned some type of lesson when it comes to greed. But maybe there's someone around you, or maybe even if it's your own energy, confirmation, beware of greed with this pig energy out here. Okay, we got the cobweb on the back, protected from negative forces beyond your control. Literally. So this could be, you know, I know a lot of you guys believe in God, angels, etc. So you could take that how it resonates for you, right? But another download that I'm getting is you protecting yourself from negative forces beyond your own control. Like other people's behaviors. Because we can't control them. They're not a puppet on a string, right? A lot of people show up in the world however they may do. But to protect yourself from depression, frustration, etc., putting in effort to help protect yourself from negative forces beyond your control, it'll catapult you somewhere that you probably thought did not exist, right? And who knows, maybe a property will come from being in this space. Maybe a lump sum money will come from being in this space. Maybe people who give to you will come. Like, it really all depends on you, your situation, your life. All right, but look, we got heart. Maybe get back into the matters of the heart. See, depression kills, but when forgiveness and love is in the mix of anything, I feel like this will keep you further and further away from this. That's what I'm saying. It's easy to become depressed and frustrated when you feel like, oh, everybody's corrupted. This is injustice. You know, I'm dealing with dishonest people who lack accountability. However the situation is, that's going to stress you out. That's going to cause depression, especially if you're a genuine person who's usually just like happy and, you know, filled with hope and this and that. You're going to drain yourself. I'm not saying don't have any hope, but it's like, even with hope, even with faith, even with all these things, because you can have all of these things and be the best person in the world and still attract certain individuals who may not be in this space. So I feel like it's going to have to be a mindset and understanding and awakening. Some of y'all, I'm seeing a new home, a new attitude. Period. So pay attention to your health. You feel yourself getting all depressed and frustrated? That literally causes illness. It is an illness. So pay attention. Next thing you know, you stress out so much, you got an autoimmune disease. Okay? So awakenings. Success through effort. Whether it's love, relationships, life overall, finances. You can implement that same awakening, realization, perspective in all those areas. You will be successful when you do, because you're pushing yourself further away from depression, therefore more towards happiness and well-being. Pushing yourself further from frustration because you overstand, you know. Maybe some of you guys need to perfect this. And for some of you guys who may be having like a hard time forgiving a loved one or whatever the case may be, a lot of you guys, if these individuals passed away, it most definitely will bring you sorrow. So the perfect thing is, am I going to continue to be upset, mad, etc., which is easier said than done sometimes. That's why you got to work, you know, help yourself work through some things, be gentle with yourself at the same time, whatever the case may be. But going back to this same like overall example, it's like either you're going to get be bound to fall into depression and stress and this and that, or you're going to trust in that perspective, that wisdom, which helps you find and even find the balance in between it. Okay, I'm seeing the Justice card. It ties to fairness, finding balance, decision, legal matters. This is deciding to be happy. This is deciding to forgive. This is deciding so that you can be in a better space, so that you can live and enjoy life rather than get beat up by every experience. And this is when you're once again connected with people who still has growing to do, learning to do, healing to do. It makes sense that they're going to show up how they show up. Why stress yourself out about it? Why beat everybody else up about it? However somebody is showing up is just how they're able to show up. Whereas you, an angel is going to be an angel. I'm just using references. Devil is going to be a devil, right? People are going to operate in these spaces and these energies. Either you're going to stress yourself out, become hurt, overthink, internalize, take it personal, or you're going to overstand. It's not personal. Even though this could be draining and upsetting and everything else, when you focus back on the matters of the heart, because like I said, we all go through whatever we go through in life, right? But some people, they just don't have the capacity to express certain things. This can even be things that's like small, but in actuality not as small. But typical things, whether it's a person's mindset, a person's behavior, there's so many people in the world. You're liable to get your heart broken, to experience this, to experience that, because you're dealing with a bunch of people who are still needing to do shadow work, who are still needing to heal things, face things, recover from things, whatever the case may be. You may however be, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna da-da. But look, even when you try, because you could be an individual who's doing the work, even within certain relationships, and it just seems like you're still, like people still are operating in a certain space. The key is not to do this and do that expecting somebody to meet you where you're at, because if they were able to meet you where you were at, they would have done that a long time ago. Okay? Just like how awakenings happens without force or whatever the case may be. If somebody is trying to persuade me to believe in something and I just don't believe in the shit, you can do what you want, crisscross applesauce all day, and I'm still not gonna get it. People come into whatever they need to come to in their own time. Either you accept people as they are, validate your feelings, work through things so that you can protect your mental health, emotional well-being, happiness, whatever you're building, whatever the case may be. Or you can get swept up in the current, which is really unnecessary, because this is just things outside of your control. But things that aren't in your control is protecting your peace and everything else. Some of you guys, you're gonna move, you're gonna cut individuals off, whatever it means to you. Some of you guys, you're just going to see things from a much wider perspective, and, you know, move differently. Like, everybody's situation is going to be different based on you, what resonates for you in this point in time. But that is pretty much the message that I'm really getting as a wise counsel, as many different things. This is how I'm interpreting the message. Next thing you know, you'll start feeling yourself not entertaining a lot of things, even as something as similar to like social media comments. You will just look, even like before, say like a year ago, you would have responded, you would have been in the comments. But imagine a year from now, you'll be an individual who possibly don't get on social media, or you'll look at things as entertainment purposes. Let me not take it personal. Let me not be up under here talking about, you know, go find some safe to do or whatever. Like I said, like, you come in different chapters of yourself, but like I said, I'm mainly giving you a message to help you in the now and in the future. At the surface level, okay? You're welcome. Welcome. I appreciate it. So people don't have to be your own projects. People don't have to be your own, maybe I do this, they're going to change. No, you are going to be your most biggest project. So you want to be able to master certain things and help yourself be able to navigate certain things. You can do it, just going to have to put in the effort. Now, this message may be able to resonate differently depending on who you guys are. I know there's cross watchers and things like that. Okay. Somebody could have passed away in your life, and this could have like changed your life drastically. Maybe some of you guys haven't experienced this yet, but with the moon here, it says changes in your life, and we have the casket here, which says someone going out of your life or the end of a situation. So this could be time to actual person, you know, death. Don't fear death. We all have to go through that, okay? Now, this can also just be an end of a situation. This could be an end of unnecessary stress, depression. Because boom, shift the perspective. Now collective, done with this. New chapter, next, new beginning, new reality. Literally, it can happen. It's not something that sounds like a fairy tale. Okay, that's why I explained it how I explained it. It's not delusion. It's not magic. It can't be magic. That solid foundation that you're building is within. How you handle things, how you navigate things, how you get through things. If there's a chance that you may go through things because, hey, you can't control every single thing, right? Especially things outside of yourself. That's why we're turning weaknesses into strengths. We're mastering things. We're gaining these new perspectives, looking at things in this and that way. Because it seems like when we do everything else in different ways, it still brings us closer to depression or stress. Now, when you go about things differently, even in the space of literally truth, no lies here, okay? You'll be like, oh, okay, yeah. Romance is in the air for some of you guys. Romance is in the air. Whether you're going through something in your partnerships, family, romantic counterparts, I feel like a lot of things could turn around and change. Either you cut people off, move forward with your life, or you shift your perspective, do this. It can change overnight. Some of y'all, things can change overnight, but it may still take time because you're still trying to deprogram, to reprogram, you know, operate in a certain perspective that possibly is uncomfortable or not new to you, or possibly feels, you know. Yeah, see, AI just said discussing personal growth and overcoming depression. Share your thoughts now. Literally personal growth. Personal growth amongst many other things. Somebody wants marriage with somebody. But yeah, it says begin to think of the fresh air and the sunshine. This is the card of healing. Somebody like, you smell so good. What's that? Get back into your heart space. Because through there, your money gonna stop looking funny, etc. You may be like, what my money got to do with my heart? All right, I guess you'll be ready to hear this conversation a little later. Okay, like I said, if you're not there yet, you're just not there yet. Just like other people, it cannot be forced. People come into things on their own, you know. Have you ever experienced a situation where you feel like you was genuinely right in something and you had an awakening and it was like, I was dead at wrong? Damn. It's like similar to that. Sometimes you don't know if you don't know. If you knew better, you do better. That type of stuff, right? So you gotta look at that with other people. If they knew better, they do better. They just don't know no better. Am I gonna stress? Am I gonna be depressed? Nah, that don't feel good. A teaching moment here. Some of you guys could be a teacher. A healing teacher as well. Especially, that's how you come into this space anyway. When you go through what you go through, but instead of being defeated, you're just resilient. You get around the side of the mountain. So just for those of you who are still in the midst of this bumpy road, the chapter is almost at a close. Now, to help yourself, there's something that is in your control, and that's a perspective and that heart space, which is not just used to fall in love. Okay, it's really important. Heart space is really important, and it's not just used to fall in love. But look, I'm telling you, spring thing, shit. Even if you look at spring, think about spring. It's like, have you ever heard, it feels like spring? Just like happy, joy, birds singing, beautiful. That can be life for you every day, even when it's the winter time, okay? Even when you're in a, coexisting in a world filled with many different beings, okay? Eagle. These are the synchronicity deck. Okay. Eagles can be significant, but also indigenous tribe. Or what is now I'm thinking of bird's eye view. It's just something really significant. Like, love yourself, love your life. I know a lot of people are saying what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong, what's this, what's that. See, when I got into a certain space of having new perspectives, it kind of brought me into cognitive dissonance. So now I was pretty much confused, indecisive, belief systems all over the place. So either I was going to sit in there and become mentally defeated, destroyed, etc., or shift my perspective, work my way through things, whatever the case may be. It's not delusion. right? Because I'm the main one trying to, oh, let me do this, let me do that, let me da-da-da. So it was nothing that I could have done except for help myself from stressing myself out. Nobody's way resonated with me because of the new perspective that I came into. So I had to trust to do something that was different, which was listen to myself, trust myself, follow no one. I'm open-minded, but I just got to a certain point to where nobody could tell me, oh, this is what it was, and I just, okay, took that, ran with it, that resonated with me, boom. I'm not at that point. I'm at a point where I have to listen to myself, trust myself, my own path, you know. That's just how it turned out to be. Very, very much stressful, draining, tiring, mentally exhausting. That's when the change of perspective, etc. comes in. Okay, we got the World card. Travel, completion, achievement, the ending of a cycle. Somebody going from student to teacher. And by all means, you can always still be the student in your life, even if you reach this teacher. You know, it's not about that. It's not about that. Inner child, or yeah, we got retreat. Yeah. Beauty. See, that mental shift, that's when it's going to be an emotional shift, then an overall reality shift. It's all connected. Get on the same page, or at least the main thing that's really important, that mind thing, is going to shift. Now your emotions going to change. Now you're going to feel lighter. Wow, that perspective is boom, boom, bam. Now your heart just feel a little more light. But be mindful. People may come trigger you, etc. That's why you do your own shadow work. You do this. You understand things. You refine things. Any loose ends, you tie them up. Okay? Because you start from step 1, go to 2, 3, 4. Sometimes there's no skipping. Sometimes you got to do 1 and then 2 and then 3. Sometimes you can't 1 and then 5. Okay? We're going to be back at square 1. So you tie up the loose ends. There's people in the world who look at things. There's psychologists, right? There's astrologists. There's religious practitioners, whatever it may be. So many different viewpoints, so many ways of thinking, so many ways of being. You are the creator of your life. Some things that I picked up on in my youth or as I was getting older, it no longer serves me. But when you beliefs are very strong, powerful. It's like almost like part of your identity. So then when you break out of certain things, you just feel so like either lost or, you know, whatever the case may be. But that's where that perspective comes in. One is not lost. I seen a quote. It was like, you're not lost, you're in your becoming. So perspective is really going to be huge. You know, realizations, self-trust, healing. Yes, you create your life how you create it. We got the artist here. I'm telling you. We got retreat and healing. Literally. Look, it says success. Literally. And then look, community. Yeah, this is really how you be more in togetherness than in segregation. See, you have individuals who look at things like, oh no, this person's a narcissist, they this, they that. And you have other people who can see certain people show up in what people deem as narcissism, but instead of calling it narcissism, they call it an individual who's damaged, needs healing, needs this. It's like a lighter way of viewing something. When you view something in a certain way, it makes you want to stay away from people, you know, feel like they're corrupt, feel like they're a lost cause, whatever the case may be. Whereas when you have other perspectives, it still helps you be a little bit more in tune with your heart space, and, you know, a little bit more of compassionate, you know, non-judgmental, whatever the case may be, right? So where it's like you pick one is possibly going to help you. I mean, everybody is different. Some people can look at people as narcissists and still be able to protect their heart space in some type of way. But I had came into this download where I was like, some things kind of interfere with that heart space a little bit. It kind of hinders it a little bit. Because instead of one's heart being filled with forgiveness, it'll more so be filled with depression, emotional loss, being uninspired, this, that, whatever. The joy, the creativity, everything is just gone. Because we internalize pain, we take it personal. It's like the saying, hurt people, and guess what they did with that? They was like, instead of just, oh, hurt people, they was like, this person is careless, this person is foolish, let me proceed with caution, let me, whatever gets me. And look, it's fine to have certain things. You don't have to be naive and gullible and just whatever. But that's the message that I was given. It never was this promoting being naive and gullible. It's just about truth. We know people show up as they show up because it's just how they showing up. But it's not personal. If you met somebody similar to you, if you're like this good person, compassionate, etc., that would probably feel like something divine, true, you know, harmonious. Whereas you have other individuals who possibly are rebels and, you know, they just ignorant, or whatever word and terms you want to use. That will make you feel uncertain. That will make you look at people as disloyal. This is a bad relationship. This is a bad person. This is da-da-da. Now there's conflict. And I feel like creating some type of balance between the two, like being able to have discernment and see things is different than judgment and creating negative connotations and all like this. I feel like if the world did not spread around negative connotations, people will be more of a community. So when we pick up on, oh, this person has lied, this person has da-da-da, that it hurts a lot more because we deem this as bad, negative. Now we become insecure. Now this, and that, when in actuality, none of that was even personal. Imagine yourself being in a space where you may have lied. You know, to you, you would probably be like, but that's different. A lie is a lie. Okay? Now that's the point where they be like, oh, two wrongs don't make it right, honey. Now, trust me, I'm not trying to encourage being naive and going all like this, but really just something to protect the heart. Really. You can do what you want, whether you want to cut people off, whether you want to give people a chance, shift your perspective. You do what you want to do. It's your own life. But this is just a perspective. To have a successful life. When I say successful life, I mean inner peace, not inner conflict. A lot of things hurt more because we internalize, we have a negative connotation about it. Now we're traumatized. Imagine your brother cheating on his girlfriend. You're still going to love your brother at the end of the day. Now, whereas if that was you getting cheated on, oh, it's like, to hell with you, my boy. You're dead to me. Totally understandable, right? Because you already were taught this is bad. This means this person is bad. This is evil. This is this. We get taught these things just like during the witch trials. Everybody was saying they literally were burning women because of things that they did not understand and things that they were taught was wrong. And this is, you know what I'm saying? So it's like when you think about things, even how racism exists, all this other stuff that's just like heartbreaking or like disheartening or whatever the case may be, you still have the energy of forgiving people because you realize this is taught, this is believed, this is people who are not in, you know, if we're talking about things outside of that, like cheating or this and that, this is somebody who's not in a certain space, whatever the case may be. So the thing is, it'll be easier for you to forgive people when you realize this was taught to this individual. Racism is taught. Segregation is taught. Unaliving individuals is taught. Doing this, doing that. And even aside from that, whether you have model figures, societal influences, a lot of things can even be how we internalize things. We get traumatized. That will stir up anger, sadness, etc. When you move through life, deprogramming from what you felt like was bad, this, that, you do what you want to do. But I'm saying I feel like this can help you coexist in a world as such. Some people are fine with maneuvering through life as they already are, but for those of you who resonate with this collective message, is, you know, religious people, they fine with that. They wholeheartedly believe in a way they're gonna die in that space. For some of them, right? Spiritual people, they wholeheartedly believe this, how they look at boom boom bam, they gon' whatever. For the individuals who are in a space where they resonate more with their own truths and experiences, this is the message that I have. I feel like this can protect the heart of yours and give you a different experience in life. It possibly would have went a whole different way if you would have maneuvered in a certain space versus a different one. Love life, your finances, all of the above. Artists, blank canvas. Get to creating. You've had this belief, you've had that thought, you've had that experience. Now it's time for you, with all of who you are in today's time, to create. This will look like success. This possibly has something to do with community, or this will look like community. One's love life is going to be, I'm telling you. See, before, this is where I am. Let me tell you something. When I came into spirituality, I had a perspective after that maybe this is not of spirituality, but spiritual people's belief systems. When I had that realization, child, that's when more perspectives came in, and then eventually it just left me at like a space of confusion. Because I'm like, well, if this resonated with me and boom, boom, bam, but other aspects of it is possibly something that I thought was the case, but naturally, it was just a whole bunch of, and maybe because I'm a mind person, I just get the deep thinking around this motherfucker. You could call me a philosopher. Eventually, stress, cognitive dissonance, mental anguish, mental prison. Okay? Every single time. Couldn't make a choice, couldn't make a decision. Because I couldn't tell right from left. So I had to be in a space to be like, okay, all of these different beliefs were created. I can create my own belief. Instead of stressing myself out because I'm already confused on this and that and that. I'm just not in that space of being as in sync with these things that I've once resonated with. Because I had a realization that maybe I'm interpreting things in a way that does not resonate with my authentic self. I've been projected on. I've been told what to believe in. So when you kind of have that realization, it's kind of difficult to still wholeheartedly believe in the things that you were believing in, especially if the first thing I believed in was religion, and I'm no longer religious. So that already shifted some type of whatever I feel like was a foundation of that, believing in something outside of myself first. So when I was able to shift into something different, I feel like that was the domino effect of being able to come into certain realizations and perspectives, you know? There was no guidebook when you came into the world, but there were a bunch of people who already existed before you and said, I spoke to God, or even God is a thing, right? When I first remember when I was maneuvering through life, I was in high school, and this was around the time where I started getting introduced into religion. I was like, but this is when I had questioned things. I was like, why I gotta be religious? And I was told, because I'm religious, so you're religious. I left it at that. But little did you know, I was going to go through a whole bunch of mental-ish, spiritual-ish. I felt like if I wouldn't have never been told what to believe in, what's right, what's wrong, I would have been more at peace. Because look, I came across situations before where people possibly weren't showing up in a certain space, cheaters, liars, deceivers. But whereas when you come into a new belief system, or people who share that belief system and they have their own thoughts and beliefs, and then you take that on as your own as well, that's where it started getting a little tricky and a little crazy, especially when I realized I may be picking up on other people's beliefs rather than what spirituality actually is to me. Because the spiritual community, or spiritual community of people with certain beliefs, believe it or not, you would think that they were operating in high honor and North Node energy, but in actuality, they were also operating from trauma. Just like the individuals who go around the hurt people type stuff. So when I was able to have these type of perspectives or realizations, it kind of put a split more in that foundation that I was believing in or resonating with. So it was very much difficult to wholeheartedly still attach to that, because I'm not a person that likes to lie to myself, live in delusion. I prefer the truth. I'm a Libra rising, if that means anything to y'all. So that's what I mean by I'm open. I'm fine with, if I see some of astrology that resonate, I take that. Will I say that I wholeheartedly believe and trust in every single thing of astrology? Nah. But some things I don't mind taking for myself. Just like if I will go to church too. If somebody saying a sermon and it speaks to my soul, and cool. That don't mean that I'm religious or this and that. Like I said, I'm open. Just maneuvering through life. Hello, thank you. Thank you. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. Where it's like things that were of a solid foundation is now being shattered. Belief systems, way of thinking, living, even things that resonated with me so much that I felt like was genuinely true. But like I said, when I came into an awakening or a realization, which is awakening, breakthroughs, whatever, it was just so difficult to not see what I've already awoken to. So it was like going crazy almost, not really being able to live, just constantly in the head, like, damn, am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? Because, like I said, I got into angel numbers and, like, different stuff and, like, tarot readers and, like, all this stuff. And I'm like, just like these people have their own beliefs, thoughts, and creations, me too. So this just don't resonate with me no more. So guess what? Same with the artist. Before, I believed in cutting people off because they were karmic relationships. Possibly cursing me, my lineage, my bless, whatever the case may be, right? But then I also, with those other realizations and perspectives, to where it kind of puts a damper in that way of thinking or believing, which is the fact that maybe this is not of spirituality, but of spiritual people's beliefs. Maybe I'm picking up on a spiritual person's belief rather than what spirituality actually is. If that even resonates with me. I got introduced into some, that's what it was. So since that foundation is broken up, then I started being a little bit more okay with reconciliation with people who may have already let me down, etc. Because I realized that's just the person that I am. I've always been that type of person. Reconcile with people, this and that. But when I got into certain beliefs or whatever the case may be, but I know before I was in spirituality, things still hurt just as much. It's just really perspective, how you view things, how you look at things, right? Religious people have a certain way, spiritual people have a certain way, atheists have a certain way. And even things that are like non-labels. I don't label myself as anything. I just be existing, evolving and shit. Now I resonate with the philosopher term. That's what I'm saying. I take things, if it's introduced to me, if I come across it, I take it how it resonates for me. Or I'll leave it where it's at. But the thing was, I was either stressing myself out, causing depression, causing all this unnecessary bullshit. So I had to choose to just go with my own inner compass. Even if before, with certain beliefs I had, that didn't go hand in hand. But since I outgrown or kind of detached a little bit from those things, the only next step was to go with my own flow, whatever the case may be. Now, you don't have to dismantle everything that you once come across and whatever the case may be. But you could just take it how it resonates for you. See, back then, maybe a year ago, I would probably be promoting individuals to break up with certain people and disconnect and, you know, all this other stuff. Because to me, I feel like, you still got lessons to learn. It's similar to a person who feel like, oh, the reason why you meet the same people in different bodies is because you have a lesson to learn. Like, all of these are, like, to me, just belief systems that may or may not even be the case. Since you don't really know if that may or may why, you know? Yes, so spirituality is an individual journey, individual practice, whatever the case may be. I don't even want to define it as anything, honestly. But if I'm going based off what something means to me, that's when I'll be like, okay, well, to me, or what I was introduced into it as was individual, right? We don't have to have the same beliefs as another spiritual person, etc. So I'm in the space of just healing, deprogramming, existing, evolving. Look, we got protecting love on the back. Before, when you look at things from the eyes of, like, say when you were inexperienced and possibly more naive, you probably were looking through some fresh eyes. Whereas when you've been betrayed and this and that, now you kind of look from a different space. Caution, fear, this, that. Which can block or hinder your heart space, therefore your momentum, your path, your actions. So I realized a year ago I probably wouldn't be connected to the people that I reconcile with or whatever, right? So sometimes it's a bit stressful trying to connect with these individuals because I already had a prior belief that this was the wrong way. This was the wrong way to go. This was not in alignment. This was this was that, you know? But since I had perspectives that kind of shift like all of that and can kind of be like, oh, well, that's debatable. That's why I'm in a space of being open to reconciliation. Being open to, you know, give people chances who I probably would have said, oh, nah, they a red flag. Whatever the case may be, right? Now, maybe 10 years from now, who knows how I will be thinking or feeling. But all I know is in today's time, all that stressing out between what's right, what's wrong, this, that, I ain't got time for all that. And that's what brings us back to this read. Okay? You know, it's situation and connection I'm experiencing. I went through something with a person. Does this mean a person who cheated on me during high school, I would talk to them again? Reconnect? I mean, nah, because like I said, I don't have to. Maybe I will talk to them. Maybe I won't. That's what it is. It's nothing like as deep as they're cursing my life. I'm meant to walk away from them forever. Because all of this was told and taught. Let me do me. Let me do me, man. If I want to reconcile with somebody, I'm going to do that shit. You know, but before, with certain beliefs, it was a complete no. It was a non-leading people in the past. If I'm capable of still reconnecting with people, I'm just capable. If I, you know, outgrown or detached or came into a new perspective, new belief, then that's just what it is. So it's like the push and pull, the conflict, the this, the that. And I had to release that. In order to release that, to come into happiness, to come into a more, you know, it's not delusion, but it's clarity. That's what makes it even more better to continue to maneuver in that aspect, because you know you're not lying to yourself and, you know, whatever the case may be. But I ain't saying this will work with, I ain't saying when you do certain work on your end that every connection from there on out is going to be easy, but it's going to be more. You're going to be able to maneuver a little better with these things, and it help you prevent depression and frustration and a lot of other things, because you understand something. You're awoken to something. Said you love being human. That's why it was different points in times where I stopped promoting certain messages that I would do. Like before, I would be like, oh yeah, see this person, boom, whatever. Cause we all get taught certain things. Next thing you know, we just pass it on to the next person, pass it on to, just like trauma. We traumatize ourselves, we traumatize each other. When actuality, when you get back in tune to the matters of the heart, it will be less trauma. It will be less trauma. But since we internalize things and we feel like people are bad and this is that, or whatever the case may be, and we get told what to do, how to live life, look, I'm at a point in time where I just don't resonate with other people's way of going about things and trying to tell me what to do. People have so many do this, do that. I've been there, done that before already. I've just shifted unintentionally into a different space. So either I was going to stress myself out and be in my head all the time and, you know, be back and forth with beliefs that were just up in the air, or I was going to be in this new version of myself and experience from that version. Now, sometimes it is a bit difficult because certain beliefs still kind of have a toll on you, especially if you haven't fully deprogrammed from them. But that's why you work smarter, not harder. You help yourself, right? Success with effort. Train the mind. So as long as I knew that I wasn't deceiving myself, it makes it a lot easier to maneuver in like that newfound space. Look, misunderstanding. We got situations in the balance that require careful handling. Yeah. Yep. You are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. Came out in the reverse, but usually with oracles, I don't really always read them in the reverse, but sometimes I'll still let the collective know if it came out in the reverse or not. That's the point of being an intuitive reader. I'll still let you know. This came out in reverse, but I most definitely feel like it's still significant and it's upright. But you are to a messenger. You determine and shift things however you want to shift it. You know, going back to that artist energy. You turn and do things and shift things however you want to do. It's your life. If you want to reconcile, if you don't want to reconcile, if you want to have this belief or not have a belief at all, if you want to do this, who give a damn? You know, fear gets promoted. Like, oh, if you don't do this, you're going to hell. Now you think hell is a thing. Now you believe in, you know, this, and it's just too much. It's too much. You're welcome. You don't have to follow the path. You can create it. Whoever needs to hear that. Thank you for the follow. Look, angel. Spiritual guidance, protection from harm. People believe in beings outside of themselves. They believe in angels. They believe in God. They believe in this. Other people, they believe that it's all either luck or action or this or that. Wherever you are right now, you are the one that's going to be protecting yourself from depression, from frustration, etc. And it may have something to do with that inner spiritual guidance. For those of you who believe in it, things outside of yourself, whatever, however you want to say it, however you want to feel. But it don't matter if you believe in angels outside of yourself or you believe that's your own energy within, whatever, the message is still going to be the same. So for a lot of you guys, you're being spiritually guided, protected from harm, even from beings, even from like by the help of your angels, right? Right? But also, this is you protecting yourself. This could be a higher perspective. This could be freedom. Intuition. You go your way. You go your way. You create what you create. Internal conflict will not live here. Insecurity will not live here. Lack of courage, indecision, fear, paranoia, sadness. None of that will live here. Wanna know why? Because you're protecting yourself from all of those things just by the awakening. Life don't have to be lifing. Pain don't have to be painful. You can learn how to maneuver, navigate, this, and that. Not lies, not delusion, but clarity. We already know. For we already feel it's going to be connected. It's going to become connected. Any last messages here? Alright, let's see what tarot talking about. I remember I was like, look, it's just these beliefs, bro. Either they can make you, break you, terrorize you, stress you out. And who finna do that? Because at one point in time, you didn't even have these beliefs in the first place, and life was perfectly fine. So we trying to get it back to being perfectly fine. And that's just coming back home to self. You will be fortunate in everything you do is what I'm looking at. I'm telling you, it's a mind thing. Then that mind thing is going to shift something within the heart space. It's all going to get connected, and then boom, life is going to change drastically. But some of y'all is going to take effort. And I told you, this is any area of your life. Love and relationships, finances, whatever it is. It's all the same, okay? So my thing is, if we're going to stress ourselves out in the world, there's already enough stress going around. People, you know, paycheck to paycheck, can't afford da-da-da. Look, this is why we work smarter and harder, not harder. Okay? We work smarter around here. We work smarter, not harder around here. Ain't no stress. We letting the burdens go. Okay? We letting the burdens go. Confirmation, drop the burdens. If it's stressing you out, some of y'all, this is something that you've taken on too much. Release. Some of y'all, this your thoughts, your this, your that, whatever it is you still carrying too much. Yeah, see? Going from this to this. This burden, this is fresh starts, new beginnings, whatever. But what I'm looking at, aside from the traditional meanings, carrying a hell of a load. But then, releasing all that, because it's a burden anyway. So I don't know how y'all will be able to resonate with the message. So I know for some of y'all, it could be in the form of, you know, belief systems, ways of living, thinking, feeling, whatever it is. It's just too much. It don't really serve you no more. So either you gonna get swept up in the current, life throwing you around everywhere, or you gonna decide, you know what? Let me use my free will to my extent. Okay. I forgot I had free will ride this motherfucker. Rebirth. Change. Don't avoid things you used to do, used to say, used to believe in, used to think. For some of y'all, you just kind of like over it. It's just not, you know. That's why you're seeing a message as such. Because stop stressing yourself out. Release. Thank you for sharing. See those sevens. There go them sevens again. The sevens can tie to luck, intuition, etc. But I feel like somebody is coming into wholeness. Or this, what I'm talking about, will bring one into wholeness. Renewal. Some people gonna probably feel like you lucky at this point. But I feel like something is just destiny, you know? This is just destiny, so don't fight against it. The conflict, the this, the that, the constant being in your head, release all that. Just go ahead and get about it out. Because that will cause stagnancy and delays and disruption and, you know, interfering with your peace. And now you feel powerless and fear is really all what you creating. You creating all of that yourself is really an illusion. So you just got to drop all that, you know, like this. Now it's out of my hands. I'm fine, go on with the day. Okay. But then when a second guess, get in your head, that's what's gonna bring you. That's why I said you can't skip the step. You gotta 1, 2, you know what I'm saying? So when you operate in that new version of self, you trust in that, you keep moving forward. See what happens. Okay? What's the worst that can happen? The worst has already happened. Okay. Now we're gonna try something different, which is going our own way. Who created the belief that God is a thing? I'm not saying God is not a thing. I'm not saying God is a thing. I'm just talking. Who created the belief that people are evil and bad and, you know, people curse you, whatever the case may be? When I came into the realization that beliefs are powerful and we can bring to life our beliefs. For example, whatever you believe in don't even necessarily have to have any truth to it, but you bring power to it because you believe in it. When I came into different perspectives and beliefs, I literally, like at one point in time when I was religious, I believed in, you know, different things, and I wholeheartedly felt like that was the truth. I started seeing signs of it being the truth. Next thing you know, got out of that, came into something new. Same thing with this. Started seeing signs that this is true and this resonates, you know? So that's why I'm like, damn, do we actually be doing that for real? So yeah. Some of y'all be too smart for your own good, but you can't be getting in your head. It says a spiritual reading on releasing limiting beliefs for a fresh start. Boom. There we go. I was picking up on the limiting beliefs, but I didn't say it. So you just got a bunch of people in the world just going, it's a circle, just a pattern of conflict, of bullshit. That's why the world is like how it is to this day. If people focus on their own energy, shift their perspective, etc., that's when it's gonna come back high. But look, that's outside of your control, but you can still coexist in a world as such. That's the most amazing thing about it. That's the most beautiful thing about it. Ooh. Awakening. Literally. So y'all done went through the ego deaths, the whatever. So the old habits, the outdated thinking, the things that no longer resonate with you, just gotta release it and start anew. Yep. This journey may have been very long and slow and whatever, but give it time. Give it time and try to help yourself, you know, because some of y'all, them thoughts is gonna be thought. It's gonna be thoughting. But with your own free will and what you're in control of, you can stop this. But I'm seeing big changes. So free will, y'all create that. Some of y'all be patient. Welcome to the team. Okay, get some rest, especially when it comes to mental relaxation. You're too smart to be mentally exhausted. Y'all be having the solution right there, the key right there. And some of y'all, since you have this type of knowledge or wealth, shit, pass it on, spread it on. It most definitely can help somebody. Some of y'all, maybe this is something that makes you feel complete. Like when you help others, or when you feel like you've done something that's like very transformational, life-changing. That's probably where the term of, you know, intuitive guides and earth angels and all that come from, right? We all saying the same thing, but just different beliefs, ways of thinking, ways of viewing, ways of living, ways of this. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. You gotta be firm on this. You be firm on this, you're going to get the happy life, the peace, the freedom, the contentment. Ain't no more limiting and scarcity tactics and poverty mindsets and nah, but really just coming back home to that of innocence, purity, hope, love. Some of y'all, you still need to heal from things that left a bad taste in your mouth. You still hurt by some things. So if you're in this space, it may be a lot more difficult, but that's why we got the message that we did. It's going to have to take some effort. Pulling yourself out of these spaces, retraining and programming your mind, thinking differently. Some of y'all, this will have to be an everyday thing, multiple times throughout the day. That's what I'm saying. A lot of y'all, something can change overnight, but it probably won't take overnight. It'll probably have to be something you keep training yourself on, keep doing, right? And it honestly possibly would just have a lot to do with letting go. Letting go of the hurt, healing through that, accepting what has already happened, moving forward. Because this is depression here. This is emotional loss. This is sadness. This is disappointment. This is regret. This is heartbreak. This is crying. Okay, pain. But I'm seeing a space of recovery. Some of y'all, you in your solitude, you loving yourself. See, when you pouring that love into self, that's how you can be able to really not judge other people, meet them where they are, etc. Because say, for example, if you met yourself in different aspects to where you can understand and see how people show up, how they show up, or, you know, whatever the case is, I'm telling you, if you resonate with this message, I won't really have to really go too much into nothing to help you understand what I'm saying. You'll naturally get it. I'm looking at the Hierophant here, Taurus energy, tied to spiritual wisdom, leadership, tradition, institutions. And this is not the world's traditions, but one's own tradition. Water that personal garden. Water that personal garden. Okay? But somebody is wanting to come in and offer you something. They want your hand in marriage. They want to be your girlfriend, your boyfriend. Some of y'all, maybe you getting excited and ready to express your emotions and do this and do that. Tame your passions. Tame your passions. Because remember, we picked up on that passionate, either love or hate energy. For a lot of you guys, this could be a passionate amount of hate. But imagine, we already know how we can carry this type of energy. It has nothing to do with bad people, bad this, but the bondage, the addiction, the fear, the ego to the whatever. It's an energy. Anybody can have it. Anybody can have it. Stop stressing out. A lot of things, it's not that deep. And it's reminding me of the story of Jesus, how people say you're naturally forgiven for your sins and like all this other stuff. It's similar to that when you're not even going to be faulted for how y'all show up in the world. Whether you're racist, whether you know, trigger warning, abuse people, sexual, whatever the case may be. Not because, oh, you get a pass or, oh, that, no. Mainly because we overstand and see how people are able to show up in the lowest aspects of themselves. And it's not by choice a lot of times. From a place of innocence and purity, and then that just, this energy comes about from one's experiences, one's whatever the case may be. But we all have the potential, right? We all have the potential. But it's almost like a sense of knowing not to fault the manipulators, the deceivers, the individuals with the bad intentions. Not because of delusion and whatever the case may be, but because we overstand. There's a deeper, higher realization, meaning. And it doesn't even have to be rocket science or something as spiritual. Really some logical, honestly. It don't have to be that deep. So if you gotta unfollow people who project and spread their gospel, you do that. Or if you got that strong mind to where you can connect with people, you know, see different sides, be open-minded, but still stay true to yourself, you do to everybody's. Look, work smarter, not harder is all I'm saying. When you're a person as such, loving, able to give, etc. But you're in the midst of chaos and a bunch of people who are not there yet. Some people, they cut them off. Oh, nah, you, bye. Other people, they keep on pouring in. Then they get drained eventually. Nah. Neither, look. There's ways to do things. And you will be shown the way. Some of y'all have already been that key for you. But don't worry. Go down. Your messages for people like this. Be mindful of greed. I'm saying financial loss, missed opportunity. You can have it all, but there's a way. There is a way, okay? We got clarity, new ideas, communication, truth. So life is what you make it. Use your free will in your relationships, within your beliefs, within life overall. For those of you who aim for happiness, emotional well-being, letting go, pausing, new perspectives, it may be a possible sacrifice. Or maybe it's not necessary to sacrifice. It really all depends. It really all depends. That song made you cry immediately. Let it out. Let it out. Okay? Music is very, very a good thing. Solid foundation, security, family. It's really been very significant. Lump sum of money. Aside from the message that I'm giving, I'm picking up on other things as well. But I like to stay on track with my messages. Sometimes I probably throw some out. But traditionally, the way the cards are, lump sum of money, inheritances, etc. Stuff like that most definitely be a thing. Maybe somebody was in the energy of greed, missed out on something, had a financial loss. Like, of course, all of those things exist. Just going based off the traditional way of reading cards, right? If you want to get your own personal, whether I read intuitively, traditionally, whatever the case may be, the list is open. But going back to the message that I was really called to share, that's what I'm really getting. I don't think that we should. This song called Power and Problems. Some of y'all may feel like being just too woke is just so much of a curse. Being too much in your heart space is just so much of it's a way of looking at things, and it's also a way of doing things. If I'm a forgiving person who has grace and this and that, eventually you'll get burnt out if people don't know how to reciprocate that or show up differently. So are we going to keep doing the same things? It's like you throwing somebody the life vest, took yours off, now you sinking 10 feet deep. That wouldn't be the appropriate way. That'll probably be the draining way, stressful way. We trying to get away from stress and depression. So that means we do things differently. You can still be your loving, forgiving, whatever self, but not in a self-sacrificial, literally way. You're welcome. So I know the main thing that we was talking about was perspectives, spiritual wisdom, inner guidance, using your free will to your extent, bypassing the old belief systems, outdated belief systems, things you're outgrowing, right? Self-realization could be significant, reflection, awakening, renewal, and choices. Either we're going to choose to continue stressing ourselves out, being this, being, or we're going to go with the current, the flow. Some of y'all, that means releasing things. Some of y'all, you holding on too tight. Holding on too tight to a belief, holding on too tight to fear, holding on too tight to something. It's always going to be something that's not really the best for you. Friendships, community, happiness, happy times could be significant. And this could happen. This could exist. Some people feel like, nah, this can't exist with these type of people. Whatever it can be, okay, that will be their belief. Some people that works for them. But I'm talking to people who, like, some things just don't work for them anymore. Some things they used to believe in, it just don't resonate with them no more. This is the message. So it's like, free yourself. Certain mentalities, certain beliefs, anything that's limiting, restricting, it's not freeing you, allowing you to maneuver in your own free will. You may be going down a path that seems, you know, confusing, or it's not typical. It's some, you know, like the moon energy. You know, some things may be hidden, or you don't really see too clearly. You know, path may be filled with illusion, not what it seemed. But now I'm seeing the star. Faith, hope, good fortune, spirituality, happiness. Create this. You've went through the tower moment already, and trust, there could be more depending on you. I tell people all the time, I personally feel like we give ourselves karma. We traumatize ourselves. That's what I feel. But it does not have to be like this. It's also not rocket science either. It's not some secret, how do I, that it's just really simple. So I shared a few things already. If you didn't see the beginning of this message, it will be uploaded to my YouTube. What I'm looking at right now is the temperance. Ties to patience, balance, acceptance, resolution, moderation. So take the messages how they resonate for you. Every message may not resonate for you. That's perfectly fine. We're autonomous. I always recommend y'all having your own viewpoints, ways of thinking, etc. But see, me, I don't like to project on people. So I say something that, you know, I try my hardest not to project, you know. But that is the message that I am seeing. Yeah. Some of y'all went through painful endings, relationships not working out. But you can come back into a space of rejoicing. New relationships or reconciliations, etc. Right? I'm seeing some giving and receiving energy. I'm seeing beliefs, values, commitments, new experiences, a new journey, traveling, embarking on a brand new journey that you probably never set foot on before. We got clarity, we got truth, we got family, lump sum of money or wealth, security. What is it that you can release, surrender, let go? Are you going to surrender to the new version of self, your new way of thinking, utilizing your free will to your own extent, and saying F what everybody else talk about? They came up with beliefs, I can create my beliefs. They came up with it, I can, you know. Ain't no more stressing and carrying unnecessary loads around here. Okay? Ain't no being in your head stressed the hell out. That's why you go within and you do that work that's necessary for you to do so that you can come into this more healed, rejuvenated, aligned space. And it's funny that I said that, because the aligned space, thoughts can be tricky little bastards, but with the things that you can control, you can decide, you know what, I'm gonna acknowledge this, but I'm not gonna internalize it. I'm gonna just sit to the side, or I'm gonna just keep on maneuvering anyway. Because imagine it was times where you actually didn't see something, didn't know something, and you was just walking blindly. So it's in another aspect to where something could be the case, you thinking about something, but still just move accordingly. Okay? Yeah, building that solid foundation. I'm telling you, this is a solid foundation that you can continue to build on, because it's solid. It's not a faulty foundation. This is celebration, celebratory energy, community. Some of y'all, this is time to home. And as an intuitive reader, picking up on other things I was picking up on, this is wholeness, building a solid foundation within self. So when you build that within your mind, therefore transfer it to the emotion, I'm telling you, reality is going to be very much different. You're going to be happier. You're going to be, it's like positivity. Because I'm looking at the sun card, and the sun did come out. It ties to happiness, positivity, success, vitality, clarity. Even pregnancy for some, but tarot is very broad. It has a lot of deep meanings, or meanings overall. Welcome to the team. Your heart's desires, go after your passions. You could already be doing so. Stand your ground. Connect with your truth. I ain't talking about everybody else's truth and what you brought on as your own truth. I'm talking about your truth. And as you continue to stand your ground and just maneuver through life, even if you may be confused or decisions seem stressful because you're hearing, you got to release those things. You got to come back into a confident space, trust in yourself, move forward. Nobody got time for that. Enthusiasm, almost like you a kid again, almost back like when you was a kid, before life was life, and before you had belief systems, let's get back to that. Once again, this ain't saying be naive, delusional, this, that. We're going based off truth, and that's just the simple fact of not taking things personal, living your life how you gonna live your life. Yeah. Yeah, I'm on live. Okay. Fire signs could be significant. Earth signs. All the signs are out here. I'm even seeing the air sign energy, but Aquarius. Yeah. Alright, one, subconscious is also significant as well. And mystery. Imagine if you were the first person on the plane. It's told by scientists that humans have to have an answer, a this, a that, a whatever. So people create their own. They have imagination. They have this. They have that. They have whatever. But I'm going to just leave the message there. We don't have to repeat, go more into anything, because the message has pretty much already been said. Forgive. Heal. Shift your perspective. This will get you closer to happiness, emotional well-being, rather than depression and frustration. And it works 1,000 times more because it has nothing to do with self-delusion, but more so clarity, awakening, higher perspectives, or just new perspectives. Especially if you have outgrown projections, outdated beliefs, and you just can't conform to really any and everything. That's because you're a leader. And it's something about spiritual wisdom, inner guidance, something about it. For those of y'all, you can still believe in angels and invisible forces outside of yourself working with you and like this and that. You don't have to fully delete everything that you've ever believed in, but only take what resonates moving forward, or you're going to continue to stress yourself out and possibly come into experiences that literally just did not have to happen. Now use your free will authentically. Use your free will authentically. Your path may not look like the next person's path. Your choices may not look like the next person's choices. We're all autonomous. Okay. Some of y'all needed to hear this message because you was in your head a lot. Confused, decisions stressful as hell. Release the burdens. Just like me when I was feeling like, damn, especially having certain beliefs, feeling like, is this right? Is this wrong? Don't nobody got time for that shit. I already knew there was an aspect of me that existed before the belief systems, so I already can see that it's something that can be done, it's something that exists, it's something that's true. It exists to my brain, right? It's not too far-fetched. It's just when you experience things and you come into beliefs and that shapes you in your reality, you know. But this is for the people who have been going through their ego deaths and your beliefs. You just, everything just shifted, changed, you know. Now you can create a life that's worth living. It doesn't have to be confusing. It doesn't have to be hard or difficult. And it doesn't have to keep on bringing about trauma. Just shift your perspectives. Keep the heart chakra open. Because once again, that heart space is not just used for falling in love. But dream big, be positive, you know. Live your life how you're going to live it. Alright, that is the end of the message, you guys. I will see you in the next one. If you do want to get on the list for your own personal message, the list is open. Nobody is currently on the list. All you have to do is click the link in my bio and scroll down till you see payment options. I have Chime, Venmo, Cash App, Apple Pay, and much more. Alright. You are the person who has the wisdom. You see things. You're going within, or you're encouraged to refine some things up. Other people most definitely needs to do the same. You can always enlighten them there. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink at the end of the day. So once again, don't create the habit of re-stressing yourself out, redoing this, redoing that. Because like I said, even as a positive thinking person, this and that, you can still find your way back to square one, stressing the hell out. That's why I'm trying to get y'all to not go to. Release the anxiety, release the fear. Some of you guys are already doing so, and that will literally bring you a lot closer to self-healing and trusting your intuition. Sometimes trusting in your intuition does not look like what everybody else tells you to do. Whoever needs to hear that. All right, but like I said, this message will be uploaded to my YouTube. I will see you guys in the next one. If I end the live by the time you decide you want to get on the list, you can just send me a DM, or you can email me at thealignedspaceco@gmail.com. Yeah, go ahead, go dance, go outside, go do something. Go do something. The sound bowl healing still healing. Nature still naturing. Bodies of water still bodies of watering. And relationships most definitely can still relationship it. But it really all depends on stuff. It's how you look at things. But when you got a hindered heart space, ooh, and certain beliefs, it'll be a little bit more difficult. So you gotta help yourself. You gotta work with yourself. Life don't have to be up and down and bullshit and this and life is life, and because really that seems like the norm, right? It seems like everybody just feels like life is life and it's gonna be life and regardless. Nah, bruh. And a lot of things really is because we get taught this. We get told these things. And we take it as a belief. Beliefs are powerful. If you're going to believe in anything, please allow it to not be restricting, limiting, etc. Because I feel like that will push you more to turmoil, chaos, than freedom and peace. That's the message.